Yep.
Hi, this is Dr. Amba, and I'm just going to ask everybody to mute if they haven't already. Um, I am a doctor of medical Qigong therapy or Chinese energetic medicine, and today is a free interactive webinar about expectations not met and how they relate to the heart and how they can sort of block our healthy relationships. And we ideally want healthy relationships of good communication, no codependence, um, and no expectations in the sense that we're judging other people and then having expectations. So, expectations not met is one of several acquired emotions in the heart in traditional Chinese medicine. So, you're born with joy, tranquility, order. And as we grow up, we learn anxiety, we learn nervousness, we learn expectations not met, is the Chinese medical Qigong therapy term in traditional Chinese medicine. So just to tell you a quick version of what is medical Qigong therapy, I say sometimes the quick version is it's like acupuncture without needles, and then add a bunch of other things like a spiritual guide and a psychologist and someone who is going to give you prescription meditations, not prescription medications. So my clients always have guided meditations they would do, or they're doing movement and breath with four key things: intention, attention, imagination, and sensation. And the main thing I want to say about medical Qigong therapy is it's Chinese energetic medicine. And this came before acupuncture. It's the oldest modality of Chinese medicine. And the nice thing about it is that people can be working with me and learning things in classes. And then I do programs. And at the end of it, we do group medical Qigong therapy. So everyone lies down at home and I work remotely. And the way that works is if you know anything about quantum physics or not, you just think about yourself as having three bodies: a physical body, an energy body or an emotional body, and a spiritual body. And I invite your energy body and your spirit body to the space where I am, and I do the general treatment protocols or general session protocols. And depending on which things are going on with which person, I modify for them, and it's their free will and divine free will. And I say divine is God, source, whomever you call sacred, whoever is your higher power. So I am not in the room. I was trained to do things, but I am in a way a conduit to help you on your highest path, whether that's to help you with your journey with a dis-ease like cancer or diabetes, or a mental health disorder like bipolar disorder or schizophrenia or post-traumatic stress disorder. Everything under the medical and psychiatric diagnoses I can help people with, except women who are pregnant. So enough about medical Qigong. Let's go back to the expectations not met and how we can improve our relationships. One of the things that happens in relationships with a man and a wife, or with a mother and children, or a daughter and parents, or a child and parents, is that we can start to have expectations of how we want things to be. And when we have these expectations and they're not met, we have disappointment, or we have this sort of pain in our heart. We have this nervousness or anxiety sometimes about situations, and sometimes it goes to the extent of depression or despair. And to go to my story a bit, how I got into medical Qigong was that my mother passed away in 1996. And the same year I had a miscarriage. And I was devastated by my mother passing away. And then on top of that, losing a child was traumatic for me to have, especially both in a short period of time. And being in that lost state and having gone to the Western psychiatric, getting antidepressants route, that didn't help me. It was, a Band-Aid for what was going on from things in my life before. And that's one thing we talk about with medical Qigong too, is that when we have anything come up in our life emotionally, that we can go way back and go, what does the situation remind me of? How early did I have something similar? And then we can kind of pull the roots of those and really look at what was the lesson from all of it. And everything, my motto is, every challenge is a gift to grow and evolve. So whatever it is we get as a challenge is to help us on our journey. So going back to my mom's story and my that situation for me, what brought me out of it was medical Qigong therapy, was doing meditations, was doing this work with San Francisco State, the holistic health department, and meeting this woman, Cynthia Chang, who was the teacher, who's an acupuncturist in San Francisco, who had a documentary about medical Qigong. And I saw that and I was like, that's what I need to do. And that's what I did to really get out of what I was in and really got to knowing this is what I want to do with my life. This is work that I can really sink my teeth into and try to teach other people, because it works well. And it doesn't just work well with mental health things, it works well with physical things in your body, because the brain has the power to change things in your body with the way you breathe, with the way you think, with your mindset, and with your spiritual growth, and integrating them all together. And when I go to this expectations not met, we're not maybe in that despair state or that depression state yet, or maybe we are. And it comes from this expectations not met, which may come from what I call BARB, betrayal, abandonment, rejection. And that can come up in our relationships. So I'm kind of focusing today on relationships. Like if you're in a couple situation, husband, I'm going to use mine for an example. So I can also manifest with medical Qigong therapy, with the Taoist principles. And now I'm Christian. We're coming up on Easter 2021. I'm Christian. I'm also Taoist. I'm also Buddhist and Hindu, and anything that preaches compassion, kindness, and patience, and love, I'm all for. And if I have a chance in my life, I'll probably study it. The part about my husband is that I would have expectations and there comes judgment usually too when we have partners, like maybe they're not doing something the way we would want them to do. And we get these expectations and we get this like kind of heartache when things aren't going the way we expect or how we want them to be. And when I teach my clients, we're writing lists. So we use yellow paper and wooden pencil, and we write on the top of it, I am so happy and grateful now that ... And we list in detail in present tense of all these things we desire to manifest. And at the end of the page, we say, or something better with grace and ease, only good be done, so that we don't get pigeonholed into what we're manifesting. And I always say, well, I manifested my husband. I manifested this house. I just forgot to say with my husband in detail that he has a good sense of humor, or my sense of humor. And that's my joke. There wasn't a different joke I used to say, but I'm not saying that one anymore, because your words have power. So we want to be careful what we say, and write. So this is why we write this on yellow paper. Yellow represents the earth and pencil represents wood, which is spleen and liver in traditional Chinese medicine. Go more into that in another class. And the expectations not met, when I'm talking about, and it can be with ourselves, and a lot of people have this too, is that they have really high expectations for themselves. And they don't give themselves a break. And what I want to say about the others, though, is for the heart, is we've got to be accountable for ourselves. What our partner or our child or our parent, our older parents, maybe are are reacting to or integrating with is our energy. So whatever our emotional state, whatever energy or vibration we're putting out is affecting them. So we have to take accountability for ourselves in how we have expectations for someone else. So if you, for example, have a child that is maybe a teenager and you have these expectations and you're getting anxiety, you know, that's rippling out to them. And that's then causing them to react in a way that then is maybe making it worse. With a partner, if you maybe, you know, want them to drink alcohol less, and you're like, stop drinking so much. I counted how many beers you had. And, you know, you're vibrating out, you know, what you don't want. So you're going to get more of it. So really working on ourselves to be like, I am so at peace and full of what you're born with, joy, tranquility, and order, you're going to find your relationships shift because you're working on yourself. Your vibration is going to affect them. And why I was bringing up the yellow paper and the manifestation list also is we can't manifest for other people. We can only do in our free will because that would be messing with their free will. And that's against the rules. You can't do that. And you can only say, I'm really working on myself to be less codependent, or I'm working on myself to, you know, I'm so thankful and grateful now that I am no longer codependent, or I am so thankful and grateful now that I am so joyful and full of order and tranquility in my own heart that my vibration is really uplifting and peaceful to others. So bringing inner peace to ourselves is how we create world peace. So if we can get everybody on board with this, which is my goal. I always say, people are like, what do you want to be known for? And I'm like, world peace. Not lying. I want to be known for that. I want everybody, I have a desire and a belief that everybody can do some breathing exercises and notice what emotions they're feeling. So in this situation, I may notice I have anxiety. I may notice I have nervousness. I may notice, oh, I have expectations not met. I really want somebody to do something or stop doing something, and I'm getting expectations not met. And we feel it in the heart. And so what can we do? We can do one simple exercise. And I'm going to stay seated because, as I told people on this call, I'm a little bit sick at the moment. So I'm actually sitting for this. And you can sit or stand. And what we are doing is focusing on the heart. And we always ask for a blessing first. And we're asking that God, Source Divine, bless this practice, whomever you call sacred. And then we're taking our sword fingers, that's like your peace fingers, and you put them together, and you point at the ground and you make a large clockwise circle that gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And the intention, remember intention, attention, imagination, sensation, the intention is that this is creating a vortex. And the vortex is going into the earth and taking these uncomfortable emotions or toxic emotions into the earth to be recycled and transmuted. And that becomes fertilizer for our spiritual growth and for our health. And what we're focusing on is the heart. So this exercise, like all of the exercises and meditations, are prescription medical Qigong exercises. So you wouldn't want to do these without talking to someone like me, or I'm teaching you now, and ideally kind of staying in contact with me to see how it's going. And I have, you know, I'm supporting you. And the contraindication is for this, low blood pressure. So if you have doctors diagnosed low blood pressure, you would not do this more than a minute or 30 seconds. But this for everyone else will be fine for your heart or will lower your blood pressure. I'm not kidding. I have clients who have, after talking to their Western doctors, gone off their high blood pressure medicine. Now, I never tell people to go off their medications, yet I say keep in contact with your doctor and see if you can go off them. And I would say 9 times out of 10, they can go off them. And it's even the 10, you know, the one time a doctor didn't say it, it was because that doctor had other reasons why they needed to be on that. So anyway, I digress. So we're gonna just focus on the heart right now and maybe think of someone in your life, maybe a husband, maybe a child, maybe a friend, maybe yourself. Maybe you're thinking about yourself and having expectations not met. Maybe you're not living up to some kind of expectation you have for yourself. Okay, so we're thinking about our heart right now. And I give you permission to teach this to someone who has high blood pressure. And if they're open-minded and if they're on a spiritual path, they may try it. Sometimes we want to help people. And again, you know, they think we're judging them, or sometimes they don't ask for help. So be sure to say, you know, I learned this amazing thing, and is it okay if I teach it to you? Do you want to learn it? Ask permission first, or even wait until they ask for help. So that's ideal. So we have this vortex, we've asked for a blessing, and we're focusing on the heart. And just put your hand on your chest. You can feel your ribs there. And just take a deep breath and notice how it feels as you exhale with your mouth open. So big inhale, and then exhale out your mouth. Feel how nothing happens here. Now add the H-A-A-A-A-A sound, ha. But we're going from a high pitch to a low pitch, okay? Feel the vibration in your hand, okay? Inhale. You feel the vibration you feel in this chest cavity? This is vibrating the tissues of the heart. Every organ has a different vibration. So we have different sounds, different healing sounds. The kidneys are the only of the 5 inner organs that we don't use sound. But for the heart, there are more than one, but ha is the strongest one. So not only are we gonna we're not gonna hold our hand here, but we're gonna grab and pull and drop like we're dropping into the vortex. Let me pull this down a little bit more. And we're making that sound, and just drop it. And so if you're in public, you can do it silently without even using the hand to, because there's silent and there's whisper and there's out loud, and they're for different reasons. But right now, let's just focus on the out loud. Drop into the vortex any anxiety, nervousness, expectations not met. Okay? Another thing to add to it is just really relax your shoulders, relax your face and jaw. You're driving in your car, you can do this anytime somebody cuts you off, you're like, you can go, I had expectations everybody was a decent driver. I was wrong. So, just relax, because when we're tense and when we're tight, the energy in our body can't move smoothly. We want to feel good, we want to be relaxed, because then the parasympathetic system of relaxation can tell the rest of the body, we're good, everybody can work and do your job, everything's okay. And if you think about the sympathetic, the fight or flight, the stress part of our autonomic system, it is fight or flight, I'm ready to fight. And it tells all the workers of your body, hold on, send all the energy to the adrenals, because we might have to lift a car. We might have to run from a tiger, even though you're just stressed about something at work, okay? So we wanna keep that body in a relaxed state. And this ha sound is probably the best way to do it. Here we go again. Notice how my shoulders go up and then they go down. Really imagine a gray smoke here coming out with the ha. And you can start to feel the vibration in your hand. Oh, just drop that into the vortex. Any anxiety, nervousness, or expectations not met. Okay, one more time. Oh. And you can add to it if you're standing or sitting, if you got nobody around you and you don't mind doing this, even if you have people around you and you don't mind people seeing you do this, you can sit on the edge of your chair and inhale or stand. And relax the body. Now there's something called pulling down the heavens, which is something else. But for this, let's just try to relax our body. Do it a couple more times. Notice I'm pulling from the earth and then heavens. And then relax. And you maybe can't move your arms. You can also do it and just imagine you're doing it with the arms. I think it feels pretty good. So when we get to this state of really relaxing, we're letting go of that higher, the lower vibration of anxiety or expectations not met. And that lower vibration catches on with other people. We want to actually lift up our vibration to joy, tranquility, and order. So that joy, that higher vibration, ripples out to everyone, and they pick that up. And then they're like, hey, I want to be around her. Hey, I feel good. She's got some good vibrations. And it's like a laugh. It's infectious. It brings everyone else up and brings ourselves up. So let's bring in, to help us lift our vibration of our heart and recharge the virtues we were born with: joy, tranquility, and order. The sound was ha, to let go. And we can imagine that gray smoke. And now the color is pink or red. And I'm going to say pink because that works for everybody. And we do a visualization of imagining pink roses all around you. You can even smell them. And you imagine you're in nature and you have very close to you a campfire. And that campfire is fire, relates to the heart element. So we're going to imagine, you can close your eyes or watch for the first couple times, inhaling into the heart, fire element, pink color, and then exhale, imagine the heart like a sponge and the lips are closed. Absorb joy, tranquility, and order. Inhale, the pink color, the fire element, and then absorb as your lips are closed, joy, tranquility, order. Inhaling, pink color, fire element. Exhale, absorb like a sponge, joy, tranquility, order. And you can also do it. Inhale, joy, tranquility, order. Exhale, absorb like a sponge, joy, tranquility, order. Really see and smell those pink roses around you, the fire element, that fire near you. Inhale, imagine that fire coming, that pink color and joy, tranquility, order. Exhale, absorb joy, tranquility, and order. And now that we have this heart full of this joy, tranquility, and order, we're going to move down to the kidneys, which is the water element. Because the next exercise is what really helps in our relationships to other people and ourselves being really grounded and really having clarity and alignment. Okay? The water element relates to the kidneys, and the virtue for the kidneys is self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom. And the acquired emotion is fear and loneliness. So we're just going to do a couple of these. Inhale the positive virtues, but we're going to change it up and slightly lean forward, and exhale a gray smoke into the earth and let go of fear and loneliness. Okay, so inhaling water element, the blue color, into the kidneys, which are in the back, but go like this, and self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom, and lean forward. Exhale a gray smoke, letting go of any fear or loneliness. Inhale self-confidence, inner strength, and wisdom to the kidneys. Exhale, lean forward. The gray smoke takes with it fear and loneliness right into the earth. Notice the mouth is open here. Inhale, blue color and the water element, joy, self-confidence, inner strength and wisdom. Exhale, releasing and honoring fear, loneliness, okay? I want to mention something. I said honor it. So the important thing is that we honor the uncomfortable emotions because they're teaching us something valuable. So just putting that out there, we're expressing our emotions in a healthy way and honoring them. Okay, they're a part of us. We love them. They are us. We are honoring them because we don't want them in our physical tissues anymore. We want to honor them and let them go into the earth to be recycled. So now focusing on that self-confidence, inner strength and wisdom, and that joy, tranquility and order, we have this higher vibration here. We're just going to focus on the water down here and the fire here. And we're going to inhale fire and water together and imagine this mist they create, holding the breath. Lips together, exhale. Bring the hands out. Imagine that mist is nourishing the bones and the brain and the sea of marrow. Inhale fire and water together. They create a mist. Exhale. See the bones getting bright blue and being nourished. This is helping the kidney and the heart have communication, which helps us have better communication in our lives as well. Inhaling fire and water together. Exhale that divine mist they create, nourishing the bones and the brain. A couple more times, inhaling fire and water together. Meet at the solar plexus, creating this divine mist. Lips together as you exhale. Visualize all the bones and the brain turning out sort of an electric blue. Inhaling fire and water together. Exhale. This divine mist they create, nourishing bones and brain. One last time. Inhale fire and water together. Smiling. Exhale. The brain, the bones, the sea of marrow are nourished. I hope you feel good. That is an exercise that helps not only you feel better, it helps people with mental health disorders. It helps people focus better. It helps people with bone density issues. Anybody a little bit older should do this exercise every day because it creates bone density. Also creates more marrow, healthy marrow. So you have more fighter T cells to fight diseases like cancer. So I hope you enjoyed those exercises. Big point of that one, though, we are focusing on the communication of the heart and the kidneys, and mental health issues, focus, clarity are difficult when the heart and the kidneys aren't communicating. And when we want to have better communication with other people, if you're fighting with someone, this exercise is something you should be doing every day, 5 times a day. And you won't really need to because your relationships are, boom, gonna have, drop the mic, boom, have such a better standing because you're centered, you're communicating with your heart and your kidneys, okay? This was a brief explanation. I'm gonna take this off record because I'm gonna do a little bit of sharing with people, and then we're gonna do a remote, long distance, free, short medical Qigong session.